if there's anybody who's adaptable, it's you. But how do you describe that in the book to encourage others to be adaptable?
Yeah, so adaptability again is a thing, a skill, a talent, a superpower that we all need now more than ever. Whether you're thinking about remote work, about a pandemic, about shifting careers, it's something that we need as adults that our kids need to learn from an early age. Um, it's also something that I realize as a woman, and that for the women listening, probably affects us differently, personally and professionally, than our male colleagues. In the book, I talk about it at first through the lens of adapting to, moments of difficulty or challenge or just, change when I was out in the field in Afghanistan. When I was, struck with moments where I had to think differently about my next steps. When I was, in southern Afghanistan in Kandahar, and there was, an attack by the Taliban, and I had to adjust my plans and adapt to what happened next and figure out how to stay safe. My mission at the time was meeting people and gathering information for my then dissertation, things like that. But Gary, I'm going to say, share a story that's slightly different than the book right now to say that, I think the thing that has cemented my desire to teach to about adaptability, talk about adaptability, and make it a superpower for particularly women is the fact that for many of us, when we become mothers, when we become parents, we have to adapt on a personal, professional level in a very different way than our male peers. Now, that's not true in all instances, but it is true for a lot of us. And I, know firsthand, having my son is now not quite 2 years old, so I have a toddler at home who's walking, babbling, and sort of doing all that fun stuff. But fundamentally, when he arrived, when I had when I had my baby, our baby, and I was finishing the book, I was running the school, I was doing all the things that were critically important and still are to me as a leader, as a woman, as a career person. I had this new part of me. I had to think differently about not just what my daily schedule would look like, but how I, related to my partner, how I prioritized certain things, how I, you know, dealt with the world around me. And I think that moment of adapting strikes a lot of professional women, a lot of women who are listening and are thinking about their leadership and what it looks like in a very, very personal way, in a way that's difficult, in a way that we don't often talk about. And so I think it's important to bring to this conversation because it does change how we lead, how we manage our careers, how we adapt on a daily basis in a really fundamental way. So that's part of what I talk to in the book as well, how we practice adapting so that when these moments come, that fundamentally life changes in this whole way, whether it's a child or a marriage or a divorce or a move or a loss of a personal nature, how we can adapt to that at multiple levels and still keep our personal and professional lives thriving.